escape me.
You can't sit on impressive. I can.
I am sincerely grateful to His Holiness Candramauli, Swami Maharaj, for so kindly bringing us together this evening, and for bringing such wonderful, illustrious devotees to Govardhan Eco Village. When the subject is about Srila Prabhupada.
That's what we do.
Over the past 52 years, I have been so fortunate to observe His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj's surrender, devotion, and loving service to Srila Prabhupada. We served together in many ways over many years. The first service I remember was I was milking cows. And after milking cows, and then cleaning the goshala, in the West we call it the barn, I would bring all the milk, carry it to Candramauli Swami Maharaj. Big, container. And Candramauli Swami Maharaj he was like a scientist. He would turn the milk so there would be cream on the top, and then he would remove that and churn it. Just like we read in Krishna book in those days about gopis churning. The only reference I had to anyone churning butter was gopis, except for Candramauli Swami. He was churning. And it really takes a lot of patience. He would churn and churn and churn, and then he would make these balls and take the cream butter, and that would be offered to the deities.
Bright yellow balls.
So we were in this way, serving the deities as a team in this way. I would bring the milk from the cows, he would get the nectar receive the blessings of great acharyas like Srila Prabhupada. Means when they are happy to receive our service. And when those who, Candramauli Maharaj, Shruti Kirti Prabhu is here, Yaduvar Prabhu and Vishaka Devi, and I see Mahamaya Devi is here. And Devada Prabhu, and these beloved disciples of Srila Prabhupada accept our service and are happy to encourage us in that way. That really is Srila Prabhupada's blessing upon us. I'm remembering something that had great impact in my own life as far as molding my disposition of what it means to serve Srila Prabhupada. I believe it was 1974. Srila Prabhupada was coming to New Vrindavan, and I was living on this mountain with brahmacharis. And he was coming from the Pittsburgh airport, and I came down, to be part of the community to greet him. And two of my very senior god sisters, they met me when I came down the road. I was brahmachari, just milking cows up there and worshiping deities. It was Satyabhama Devi and Shanadasi. They were married to Paramananda Prabhu and Haiguru Prabhu. And together they made a beautiful garland. Wonderful garland. And they said, we want you to offer this to Srila Prabhupada when he comes and sits on his vyasasana. I said, I'm not, I was not even in the hierarchy of leadership. I was just milking cows, doing some pujas. And they were very strong. They were my very senior god sisters. They both joined in like 67, 68, 69, like that. I think actually 66 and 67 they both joined. And I said, I can't do it. And they said, no, we want somebody that's not in the leadership position to offer this to Prabhupada. Because the leaders always get to do things for Prabhupada. You never get to do anything, so we want you to do it. And I really was afraid to do it. But they were so strong. And I didn't want to make an aparad to them, so I said, okay. So they gave me this garland, and I went in the pujari room, and Katila Devi, I think, was there, and I asked, can I get a plate to put this garland on so I can offer it to Srila Prabhupada? She gave me a plate. And I went to the car when Srila Prabhupada came out in the parking lot, which was very muddy, very, very muddy. And I was told, don't give it to Srila Prabhupada till he sits on his vyasasana. So he came out of the car, and I wasn't allowed to walk close to Prabhupada. So, many leaders from ISKCON and from New Vrindavan and all these places, they were walking in front of me, and I just said, I have his garland. I have to be close because I have his garland. So they said, all right. So you may have seen that photo where I'm actually carrying his garland. It's the story of it. So he went into the temple and offered much afraid, thinking myself unqualified to put it on him. So he looked up at me and like, what are you doing? And I was too shy. And he just was looking. Everybody was looking. And the leader of community was standing next, and I just gave it to him, and he just went, put it on Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada didn't look anywhere else. He just looked at me and smiled and nodded his head like, yes, I am pleased. You can serve me best by being a servant of my servants. And that message, the way he glanced, the way he nodded, it transmitted such a very, very deep instruction. You can please me by being a servant of my servants. So Candramauli Swami Maharaj come here and brought so many of you. So I'm feeling that he is pleased with us. And that is Srila Prabhupada's blessing. And Maharaj is traveling all around the world, inspiring so many, writing books, leading kirtans, dancing. I was at New York at Bhakti Center with Candramauli Swami Maharaj earlier this year, and the elevator's really slow. Actually, one day I had to meet somebody on the 85th floor of this new building. And I got in the elevator, it was like a rocket ship. In a matter of seconds, we were on the 85th floor. And it takes longer for the Bhakti Center elevator to go up one floor. It's 85 floors. I'm not exaggerating. It's like the difference between a rocket ship and an ox, going in circles and pulling something out. But anyways, we were walking down the steps after a kirtan and an event, and Maharaj was walking like this, and he said, I can't walk down steps because my legs. I said, Maharaj, how do you dance? You can't even walk down steps. Dancing is transcendental. It's such a spiritual level beyond material logic. And we have with us Yadubar Prabhu and Vishaka Prabhu. They were truly in Srila Prabhupada's inner circle of his entourage of personal associates. There were very few people like that. Filming Srila Prabhupada and recording Srila Prabhupada. In the earliest days of Srila Prabhupada coming to India, they were there. And what both of you have done since then, the most wonderful films on Srila Prabhupada's life, different projects of ISKCON, on our philosophy, was actually during Srila Prabhupada's time even. It was a main form of preaching. It's the films that Yadubar Prabhu and Vishaka Prabhu have created. And Srila Prabhupada blessed them so dearly. He was so pleased with their efforts. And they just continue making films, doing projects, Vishaka Prabhu is temple president of probably the largest temple outside of India in all of the world, Bhaktivedanta Mandir, Srila Prabhupada's European headquarters. And we have Shujakirti Prabhu, who is the longest serving personal assistant of Srila Prabhupada in all of Srila Prabhupada's pastimes. Just right there with Srila Prabhupada 24 hours a day. And even when he wanted to do another service, Srila Prabhupada was always encouraging, please stay with me. And even when he did do another service, Prabhupada was always inviting him to come back. Cooking for Srila Prabhupada, massaging for Srila Prabhupada, traveling with him, carrying his belongings. And I believe you've all heard so many wonderful stories from Shujakirti Prabhu the last few days. So we're very fortunate. Mataji, I'm so happy to see you. When did you come? Malakar Davies. Wonderful to see you. What would you like me to speak about?
Govardhan, Govardhan.
In truth, Srila Prabhupada, he brought the very essence and the heart of our whole Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya with him in his heart around the world approximately 12 times. And I'm remembering a devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, what is our qualification for receiving Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's supreme gift to humanity? The entrance into Vrindavan. You've given us the teachings, you've given us the sadhana, you've given us everything. What is our qualification? And Srila Prabhupada, with all humility, he spoke in a way that truly is, I believe, Krishna speaking through him as an instruction to all of his followers, generation after generation. He said you had no qualifications. He said, I made your qualifications. And it is true. What to speak of you devotees from the United States of America and the former Soviet Union and from Europe and all over the world. Practically nobody in our movement, besides some in Bengal, ever heard of Lord Chaitanya or his teachings, even in India, before Srila Prabhupada. manifested this movement. Of you from India, how many of you understood Lord Chaitanya's teachings, or even heard who Lord Chaitanya was? And by Krishna's arrangement, Srila Prabhupada was put in situations where he had to do great sacrifices to give Krishna consciousness to us. 1922, he got instruction from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. In a lecture I just heard a few days ago, Srila Prabhupada said he gave me the instruction to take Lord Chaitanya's message to the Western world. Sometimes he said in the English language. Cargo ship, heart attacks, seasickness. When he arrived in Boston, he just was with Captain Pandey. There was nobody waiting for him. When he arrived in New York, he just was walking. He said, I turned right and left. He didn't really know where to go. And some hired traveler's aid person just, you are A.C. Bhaktivedanta, come with me, put him on a bus to Pittsburgh. And in he's on this bus in Pittsburgh, and Gopal Agarwal was waiting at the bus station and drove him to Butler, Pennsylvania. And actually, they didn't even really want him to come. Gopal and Sally told us later, Father said he's sending somebody, but he had said in the past he would send others, and they never came, so we never expected anyone to come. And for almost a month, Srila Prabhupada was living in a little YMCA hotel in Butler, Pennsylvania. And he took another bus, in those days, probably about a 10-hour bus ride to Philadelphia. And then from Philadelphia, you had to change buses and go to New York. Then he was just a guest in this yoga teacher's flat in his apartment. And later he was robbed. He tried to start projects. And materially, Srila Prabhupada said he was mortified because he spent months and months trying to get this little building, but he couldn't get it because he couldn't get anybody to give any funding from India to help. And then gradually 22nd Avenue. Pradyumna Prabhu tells story, I think it was around 67 or 68. There was a little temple in Montreal, Canada, and Srila Prabhupada could not get a visa to get back in America. And Srila Prabhupada told Pradyumna Prabhu, if I'm not allowed back in America, we will make Montreal our international headquarters. He was just willing to adjust to any situation, but he would not give up trying to himself struggled like anything in Delhi. Shuddhakirti Prabhu and Vishakasaki Devi, we went to Chippiwada. How many of you have been to Chippiwada? Please raise your hands. It's in New Delhi. And His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj understood the great history of that place in Srila Prabhupada's pastimes. And for years and years and years, he struggled to get that property. It's really a rundown little place in a very crowded alleyway. You cannot, even to this day, what to speak of then, you couldn't drive there. You have to walk some blocks through alleyways. It's very crowded. It's in the oldest part of Delhi. Old Delhi. And we were reading Srila Prabhupada's story from Srila Satsrup Goswami Maharaj's Prabhupada Lilamrita. The struggles Srila Prabhupada, he would come from Bamsi Gopal Temple in Vrindavan, and after some time from the Radha Damodar Temple, he would take these trains from Vrindavan to Old Delhi. He was trying to preach there, and he was actually homeless. He was staying in so many different places, public places. And one person who was very much appreciating what Srila Prabhupada was doing. He saw Srila Prabhupada had no money, he had no followers, had no mission to help him. He was just alone, struggling every day to get back to Godhead's printed, writing, preaching in different places. So he gave him a little room on a rooftop in this Radha Vallabha temple in Chippiwada. The struggles he endured there. And then he went to West, and he came back with devotees. And what has happened in India from Srila Prabhupada's, his vision, his training, and most of all the faith and inspiration he put in the hearts of these devotees. But he inspired book distribution. He inspired, and it was very small at the beginning, but look what has become. He began by making temples in little storefronts. The amount of people in this room, I don't think could fit in 26 Second Avenue. Very small. That was our whole movement. And it was a little bigger in San Francisco. And now we see the temples, how they have manifested. Srila Prabhupada gave us deities. First he taught us how to worship just little pictures. And now there's so many hundreds of deities, Radha Ras Bihari, millions and millions of people, Krishna Balaram, Radha Shyam Sundar, Radha Madhav, and Mayapur. Tens of millions of people coming a year for the darshans of these deities. Srila Prabhupada just first started teaching us how to offer incense and bell to photos. And establish this little by little. action, not just preventing climate change. That's a very insignificant detail, actually. Srila Prabhupada taught us that Mother Earth and the whole environment was Krishna's energy. Srila Prabhupada would say we talk about nature, but whose nature? It's Krishna's nature. He didn't want anything wasted. His idea of natural fertilizers and natural organic growing was not simply because it's good for health. That's also there, but it's kind of a detail. It's included in, this is the gift of Krishna. We cannot exploit it. We cannot contaminate it. We must reciprocate with the gifts of nature, which are Krishna's gifts. The cow is our mother, and the earth is our mother. And we should actually have the same love and gratitude and appreciation for the earth and cow as we have for a perfect mother. Why? Some Siddhir Haritosha. Because that is honoring Krishna. That is what pleases Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada wanted education in the scriptures, education on all levels in Krishna consciousness. He put so much energy and so much emphasis in the Bhaktivedanta Institute to actually cultivate scientists and bring them to actually appreciate Krishna consciousness. And through that medium, to teach the pure message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Bhagavad Gita. So whatever the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, whatever all of our projects, whatever our farm communities like Govardhan Eco Village, all the concepts, all the ideas, all the inspiration was given to us by Srila Prabhupada. And he wanted us with whatever intelligence or abilities or resources that Krishna gives us to actually, manifest his vision. And as soon as we think that I am the doer, then there's a certain spiritual disconnect. And I believe that's why Srila Prabhupada, in all humility, he said, you had no qualifications, I have made your qualifications. Because by being honest in that way, if we're honest, we're humble. And to actually be humble is being honest. Because Krishna is the intelligence of the intelligent, the strength of the strong. He's the abilities of all living beings. And all the resources we have to work with are Krishna's energies. And the jiva is the jiva shakti. We are all little atomic particles of Krishna's energy. is the source of everything that exists. And Srila Prabhupada was in full realization. Pure, unalloyed, ecstatic, loving devotion to Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would tell in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita that he was a fruit seller. And he was giving the fruits of prema, love of Krishna, freely to everyone. Without even charging anything. All we needed to do to receive is just be willing to receive by following his teachings. He said, I have limitless supply of fruits. How many can I distribute with my two hands? Whoever is my devotee, help me to distribute these fruits. Srila Prabhupada, our qualification is he gave his life and soul to distribute these fruits. And Srila Prabhupada would say, Srila Prabhupada would say, my only qualification, I'm simply repeating the words of my Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Now Srila Prabhupada is such an acharya, a resident of Vrindavan. Faith in him, his knowledge, his divine grace, his empowerment was the source of everything in our movement. And he would say, my only qualification, I'm simply trying to carry out the instruction of my Guru Maharaj. So what is all of our qualifications? Because to the extent we really live in this spirit, we can truly be empowered. Is Devada Prabhu here? I remember Srila Prabhupada in this first farm community, he said we should make our own houses out of the resources that are on the land. And actually in that film that you made, Yadavar Prabhu and Vishaka Prabhu, the spiritual frontier, it actually has Devada and Prabhu and Narayana Devi sitting in the house eating prasad or something. They were called Prabhupada houses. But that vision, and actually it was that direct vision. We may be using different materials here because, Maharashtra is different than West Virginia. But the same spirit and principle of all these buildings is Srila Prabhupada's vision. Make your houses out of the resources that are on your property as far as possible. And the testimony that Srila Prabhupada is pleased with our insignificant efforts wherever we may be in the world is when those who love Srila Prabhupada are happy to participate, to accept. Truly for Govardhan Economics, as such exalted disciples of Srila Prabhupada and such truly exalted servants of the servants of those disciples, come here and find some happiness and allow us to assist you in your service. That is the fulfillment of our prayers. Because of all of you, there may be some success here because you are coming to accept on behalf of Srila Prabhupada our efforts. Thank you, Maharaj.
What success? This is the success.
Madhavananda Prabhu, Mataji's such illustrious disciples of Govinda Swami Maharaj, blessing us by coming here, accepting our services. Thank you. We owe you everything. You may be thinking that, coming for Ayurveda or from our perspective, Guru Govinda Swami Maharaj is accepting our humble efforts to serve through your hearts. We owe you everything. Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj is so foundational for everything in India. And when those of you who are come here, how wonderful, how grateful we are to you. He's accepting our service through your hearts. And so many others. Is there any questions? Or would my God brothers, God sisters, anyone like to speak something?
I asked His Holiness Radhanath Swami today. I thanked him for his vision. He immediately said, "This is Prabhupada's vision." He so beautifully has repeated tonight. He takes no credit for, just like Prabhupada, he takes no credit for this wonderful manifestation of Prabhupada's vision. So Maharaj was just so appreciative and full of gratitude for you carrying out Prabhupada's vision. I also mentioned that this is it's a magnet for the world, especially for Westerners. And we really need that in our movement to attract more Westerners. That's where Prabhupada went. He went to the West to attract Westerners. In some places that just is not happening so much. But this is such a wonderful magnet for the whole of the Western world. It will increasingly be so. So thank you so much, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Retreat center aspect of Govardhan Eco Village, the seed of how and why it happened. I remember His Holiness Sridhar Swami Maharaj, our God brother. He told me that one of Srila Prabhupada's instructions to him and the leaders of India was not only to make the people of India devotees, but there are so many people from the Western world coming to India searching for spirituality. And we should have a place where we could cultivate those people. He actually wanted us, that was, according to Srila Maharaj, that was a priority aspect of all Prabhupada's projects in India, was to cultivate the people of the West who were coming looking for spirituality. So somehow or other we tried to do that. And that's was Srila Prabhupada's idea. It was his vision. And by whatever little empowerment may come, I believe it only has spiritual potency to the extent we're doing it to try to please Srila Prabhupada's compassionate desire. And when someone like Yadovar Prabhu was appreciating that, I fall at your feet tens of millions of times, giving us a change. Because of you, Srila Prabhupada may be pleased with us. Does anyone have any questions? Please.
Hi, Maharaj. I would like to thank you for bringing such diversity to this place. And, I was, I joined a movement in '76. And so I was so, like my jaw dropped and I couldn't bring it up. Because the way I was treated here, and all the kindness that everybody has and the mood of service, that is like it's astounding, and how all the different projects, the vision of bringing Vrindavan here, and the cows, and the temple, the Mother Mohan temple, so mystical. So everything is just so, it's so potent. And I would like to thank you very much for bringing Prabhupada's vision to fruition and engaging so many people and being so kind to us little people.
Forgive me, but what is your name?
My name is Jagori Devidasi. I'm from Gainesville, Alachua. I met you at Balavanta's dinner with Mahavir. Yeah. And my first time here, and I am like, my jaw is still dropped. It's hard to see this vision of such grandeur. It's just fantastic. I am completely in awe. Thank you. Thank you so much for bringing this to fruition and engaging so many people in the service. This is amazing. I appreciate it very, very, very much.
I'm speechless and humbled by your gracious words. But whatever is here, it's a whole community that came together to do. I'm just a tiny little part of that community also. Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak?
I was speaking a little with Mahamaya Mataji today. Just want to quote something from her that I really, really appreciate. She said she first went to Vrindavan, as I recall, in the 70s, and that period of what it was like there at that time, this is what it's like here. Vrindavan has changed so much, it's become so crowded and so intense, but this is something like that. And I can't even begin to appreciate this place, Maharaj, but one thing that deeply touches me, I was always trained to be a preacher. And when I see so many people come, sometimes devotees complain in the West that it's all Indian body people coming to the temples. Here we are in India, it's a very big mix, as she was just saying, a lot of Westerners coming, a lot of very new people coming. And they're coming to learn how to collect seeds, how to collect rainwater, how to do vermiculture, compost, and how to take care of cows. And it's so practical, and they appreciate it when they're hearing from Hare Krishna devotees. It's just such a wonderful, amazing preaching thing, Maharaj. I'm just overwhelmed by it. I'm so grateful. I also appreciate you were saying the other day, too, how I see a lot of projects where devotees are kind of micromanaged. And there's a very dynamic leader who has a beautiful vision, and something very nice happens. But here, and in Chopati, I see something a little different. I don't see micromanaging from you, but I see you empowering devotees, encouraging them with their own vision and their own strengths. And that's really Vrindavan. That's what Vrindavan's all about. I had another short comment, if I may, too. You were speaking about qualification, and I kept hearing a comment from my Guru Maharaj about that, where he told us once, he said, your only qualification is your disqualification. And that's the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Bishad Yoga. Bishad means lamentation, yoga of lamentation. Bishad is a compound word, two things together, bish and ad. Bish means poison, and ad means to accept, and together it means lamentation. But we could also say it means the poison of accepting our situation. And that's our only qualification, as you were saying, our humility, when we own it, when we accept our humble position. And anyway, I'm just, thank you very much for your wonderful talk, Maharaj, and for welcoming Krishna Kunda and I here, and just for everything. Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Thank you, Maharaj, for gracing all of us with your presence. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada. We are absolutely delighted to be here in Govardhani College, and this is truly a wonderful project. But I want to thank you for another very wonderful project, that is Bhaktivedanta Hospital, Meera Road. I have personal experience of admitting my father there, and I cannot explain how it transformed for me into the spiritual world simply by the attitude and the service mood of everyone, from the gatekeeper to the watchman to the liftman to the ward boys, haribols, and to the sisters, to the doctors, the laboratory personnel, the lobby personnel, the receptionists, the constant vibration, sound vibration of Srila Prabhupada at every moment, echoing through the corridors, through the wards, and the reception that patients receive at a very critical time when they're seriously ill is unparalleled. I have never seen anything like this. And my humble prayer, my actual plea to you is, please kindly replicate such hospitals throughout India. Because health is a very serious concern today for devotees, and we need to have very strong spiritual warriors for the future generations. And we cannot have that given the present scene unless we have such hospitals offering holistic care to devotees in a very exemplary spiritual manner. My heartfelt gratitude to you for nurturing such exemplary doctors like Vishwarup Prabhu, Madhvananda Prabhu, and your team. And this is my prayer. Please replicate this everywhere. Thank you very much.
Please continue praying. Thank you very much. Thank you, Candramauli Swami Maharaj, for inviting me to participate in your wonderful pilgrimage here. Would you like to speak something?
Yeah, I was thinking what to speak, and then Madhavananda mentioned that what has been inspired here is coming from Radhanath Swami's desire to please Srila Prabhupada by expanding the mood of Vrindavan. And Maharaj once told me many years ago when he was here, first here, this was, he said, I always wanted to do this in New Vrindavan, but somehow, because of how things developed and moved away from actually the focus of what New Vrindavan was meant to be, it didn't manifest. And so, but keeping that within his heart, Maharaj was able to carry that here, and with the wonderful devotees that he had cultivated and educated and instructed and inspired. Together they have manifested Vrindavan here in a very wonderful way. We don't see this as simply, a replica. We see it as Vrindavan. Because Vrindavan it's not just a place, it's a mood. And the mood of Vrindavan is very strong here. As was, I think was Jaigor, you mentioned how we were just overwhelmed by the feelings and the devotees and the mood. Yeah, that energizes the mood of Vrindavan. The mood of Vrindavan is really selfless service. And you'll see that everywhere here. And that mood was there as far as I always remember Mrs. Radhanath Swami's mood. To serve Prabhupada's mission, to serve his devotees, to serve people in general, bring them to Krishna consciousness, and do whatever it takes to make it happen. Not considering what's in it for me, not considering the difficulties of keeping the focus on pleasing Srila Prabhupada and bringing Vrindavan everywhere. Now this project here is really spiritually edifying. Yesterday I was sitting with a group of devotees in a restaurant, and some people I didn't know, some people I was with one person that I had known from Mayapur. He looked at me and he said, out of all the places in the world, Maharaj, which place would you want to be if you had a choice to be in one place? I didn't hesitate. I said, here. Because everything that we're looking for in the way of Krishna consciousness, but particularly that mood of service, that mood of surrender, that mood of bringing Vrindavan is really powerfully manifested here. That was an easy answer for me. Here, I was thinking, I scanned my mind for a second and I said, can't think of any other place. And Maharaj has made it so nice. He's created this I was there a few years ago, a retirement ashram. But it's not a retirement ashram. It's just a place that he's allowing Prabhupada disciples to come and feel really, really welcomed and feeling really, really happy to be in such an environment. So his vision is always how to serve Srila Prabhupada by serving Prabhupada's devotees and expanding Vrindavan wherever he goes. So thank you, Maharaj. I mean, everyone can see that, but it's something that we can't fully appreciate. We can only say thank you, and we try to somehow or other emulate whatever you do